Hi everyone, welcome to a new video here on the channel. Today I bring you something different. It's not my type of videos, but I decided to bring to the channel because I love very much this streamer. This is my favorite streamer regarding Diablo 4. If someone doesn't know him, I really advise you to go and check his channel. His work is really good. It's DM. I will leave the link on the description, the YouTube channel and Twitch channel regarding DM. He gave his opinion and feedback about Diablo 4 so far. We are almost in the same level, so I decided to hear what he has to tell, and I'll give you my opinion meanwhile, okay? So without any further delays, let's play it and check it.
So people are constantly asking me, what is my opinion of Season 2? Is it a fun game? Is it any decent? Is D4 good now? Is it still D4 bad? You know, what have you. So here's my first impressions and review of it. Keep in mind, I'm level 61. I'm playing hardcore solo self-found, so I'm playing by myself. I won't have an opinion on the party-based stuff, but I'm doing the seasonal mechanics and I am playing Druid. So
sorry, just to tell you one thing, he's playing on the as a hardcore. I'm not playing just for one reason. Until Blizzard fix the connection issue, I don't play hardcore anymore. I saw one short. He did a short where he lost connection, has to went out, then go back again. Again, the carrot is there, then lost connection, and the carrot is dead. So for me, it's not worth until they fix 100% the connections issues. It's a waste of time to playing hardcore. This is my opinion, okay?
first and foremost, let's talk about the actual season mechanic itself. Vampiric powers. This is one of the seasonal mechanics, but is probably the most primary one. This right here for me feels all right, but is not, in my opinion, my main enjoyable part of the season. I feel like the vampiric powers, since they are passive and not active, doesn't feel like something I am personally partaking in. I just choose what seems like the best one for my build, and then it's something that happens. Because of this, it makes my build feel stronger than without them, but I don't feel like I'm actively participating in something. That doesn't...
I totally agree with him. Most of the time I agree with DM opinions. I think this mechanic is not so excited. I don't feel any freedom to choose what I want, the path where I want to go. I think this is something that Blizzard is testing on Diablo 4. If it works, if people like it or not. That is the stage I think Diablo is now, okay? They are testing this. For me, the concept and idea you should have certain type of quantities of each items you have above in your items. I think the idea is quite good, okay? It's quite good, but not like this, okay?
I mean, I hate it. That's just something that I've noticed since I've done it. I actively do enjoy the passive bonuses, but that doesn't necessarily mean this makes or breaks the season for me. However, what I do quite like about the season, I'm going to start with the Blood Harvest. Now, the Blood Harvest has multiple things going on for it. First thing, there's this board. This effectively, you get these rewards throughout the season as you climb through your current hunter's like rank type of situation. You can see here, you get basically yellow rewards at the beginning, you get legendary rewards later. These are just bonuses. These aren't actually required in order to do anything. There's no content locked behind this, but they are additional legendary bonuses that you get from doing this activity. So it's a reason to do it. But more so, the Blood Harvest area is pretty cool because when you get a new one of these, there's going to be a whole bunch of whispers. I've already cleared mine out here, but there will be a whole bunch of whispers you can do in this area. It's sort of like a Helltide area. They also have these chests that as you kill minions, you're going to get these secret keys. These secret keys here will then unlock and give you more rewards. A lot of legendaries actually can come from these. You'll get multiple legendaries sometimes for them. They're also pretty nice to have the keys directly after you go through a capstone. Then you come here and you can pretty much get yourself some guaranteed yellow upgrades right away. So this has been a noticeable way after me jumping from one tier to another for me immediately to gain some power. Another noticeable...
Regarding this, I agree with him. Was probably the biggest surprise about this season. and the event I like the most. Okay, it's really funny. I think they should keep something like this for the next upcoming seasons. Okay, it's really funny. It's great for farming. It's great to get new items. The density of the monsters are great. Maybe so far this is the new. I really enjoying playing Diablo 4 in season 2. This is my favorite thing about Diablo so far. Okay.
A way to gain some powers with a Starforge PC system. You can actually use my link in the description or in the pinned comment to pick yourself up a Starforge PC and get yourself an upgrade in order to play Diablo 4 in every PC game you want. They currently have many systems available for a range of budgets, no matter what you're looking for. If you're looking for the Giga Chad one, all the way down to a entry-level PC, you are covered by Starforge systems. Shout out to Starforge for sponsoring this video, and let's go back to the first impressions. You'll have these sort of events. Basically, as you kill minions, you're going to get these things called blood lures, and you can use the blood lures to interact with different parts of the environment here, which will bring different enemies to attack you, or some of these will have like a big event where there will be like 5 or 6 elites at the end of it, and you can get like 8 legendaries from doing it if you save up 150. So these are more things in which you can participate in that are in the overworld. I like these. These blood seekers here are basically your Dark Souls invasion type of situation. They are effectively players that are NPCs. So you're going to have druids, barbarians, necromancer type of skills, etc. from those, but they are not actual players. Obviously, they are NPCs, but they're supposed to be sort of like players. I can feel mildly threatened by them with the occasional CC, but for the most part, they haven't really felt of consequence. They've been easy enough to defeat. They aren't really like a boss. It's more like just a little bit stronger elite. One thing I have noticed, however, is the events seem to feel a lot better. This is partly probably because the experience for actually just farming normal minions is up, but also the density feels better. So I don't find myself avoiding the events. And for the most part, when I actually see an event, I'm wanting to actively participate in the event. So that
is another point. He is totally right. I don't see me trying to avoid the event, okay? Because it's funny. It's really enjoying. Brings a lot of life quality for the game, and I really like it. Okay. So far, my opinion is the same as DM.
That is a change, especially in dungeons from where I was in an event before and it'd be like, oh no, an event, like let me get around this, to I actually feel like I want to do the events while I'm in them. Not so much for the rewards I get at the end of it, but because of the monster density and the experience in which I'm trying to grind. So that seems like a 180 on the events. You can see here the density seems all right. And so for me, so far, the events definitely feel better. Sometimes while you're doing the blood harvest, you'll experience like an extra elite, sort of like the Hell Tides that have those elites that get summoned that will drop one of the mechanics from the blood harvest. For instance, I was getting trembling hands or the gurgling head, etc. These are actually used to summon bosses. You can actually summon bosses from the Tree of Whisper or the Varshan boss in particular. And I found myself doing this boss as soon as I could. This is actually how I got a unique every single time. I got a unique ring, I got a unique chest, and I got a unique head, and all of these were immediately usable for me. So getting the pieces that I need in order to summon the Varshan boss at the Tree of Whisper kind of broke up the monotony of doing the same thing over and over again. It was a nice break and also gave me a pathway to getting uniques at a somewhat reasonable pace. So that actually felt pretty good too. In terms of the actual quests, the seasonal quest that you do is quite short. It reminded me a lot of the Season 1 quest ended in a boss fight. The boss fight was pretty enjoyable, but also pretty mild and doesn't take a lot of time. It's not the focus of the season, and I don't really have much of feedback on that because you just do a couple quests, real quick, unlock the vampire powers, you continue them, which forces you through the chapter's journey. The chapter journey will end up unlocking for you more aspects, including the new ones. The new aspects actually seem kind of cool, or at least for the build I'm doing. And so it kind of worms you into experiencing the different mechanics of the season in a tutorial sort of way. It's not the main part of the season. The seasonal quest isn't the reason to play the season, but it's decent. In terms of the defensive changes, I'll be honest, I just feel tankier. I don't feel like I'm actually focusing on resistance at all, at least not when I'm playing the other games. This isn't necessarily a complaint. I like whatever they did with the changes because the pacing of the game feels better. I feel like I'm not instantly getting destroyed the resistances actually do seem to matter, but I'm not actually actively trying to get resistances. When I do have a resistance, I think, oh, that's cool, I'll have resistance for that. For instance, I got 31% here on the helmet, so my lightning resistance is capped, all right? So defenses feel better so far in that I don't always have to just worry about damage reduction. I actually go, oh, armor. Okay, armor is cool. All right, damage reduction through the resistances. Okay, that's cool. Maximum life. It's better this season because of the way Fortify works. So now I'm actually working on maximum life. I feel like it gives me a little bit more opportunity to spread it out. Also lets me put diamond resistance gems in my jewelry instead of just stacking armor the whole time, so defenses are less boring. In terms of the pacing of leveling, definitely feels better. I'm going to put it that way. I feel like I'm actually leveling significantly quicker, at least in the mid levels. I'm now 61. Obviously, I'm not in the higher levels yet, so I don't have an opinion on that yet, but you can definitely feel what is effectively supposed to be the 40%, and thank God for it, because honestly, the pacing of the game was a point where right about now, I have about 18 hours into the season, right about now I'd start to get bored, but the pacing is keeping me more interested, and I'm constantly kind of getting items that are bleeding in the enjoyability. At least that's keeping me in the game for longer than I feel like I normally would be. And for that reason, it kind of makes pounding through the new density changes a little bit better as well, because I'm getting more experience and there's more mobs to kill. So it kind of keeps you distracted with the constant grind, as opposed to you're very acutely aware of the grind you're doing, because everything is so slow and everything's so boring and all of the events are so just drudgingly slow to get through the events, that every time that something happens in the game, you're acutely aware of how long everything is taking to accomplish. You don't feel that as much, and I think that's probably a combination of the majority of the quality of lives they've added together, of the time delay that was constantly hitting you, as well as the monster density increase, as well as the experience gain increase that has happened throughout the entirety of Diablo 4 being out. And for that reason, I mean, you can see like in the Cursed Shrine here, right? Monster density is actually pretty decent. So the grind itself feels better. Now, while what you're seeing me doing there was the dungeon is not actually where you're required to spend the majority of your time. Yes, if you want to dungeon farm, you can still go to the dopamine tunnels, you can still refresh this. Yes, this is actually very good experience. However, it is comparable to continually just farm the blood harvest areas. The Whispers are significantly better. In fact, so are the Helltide chests. I opened one chest, the 300 living steel one, and got like 400,000 experience, which was like a fifth of my level. It was like 20% of a bar or something. So you can actually get significant experience doing other things. This doesn't mean that what you're going to be doing is only the other things, as opposed to before it was all about levels, so all you're going is doing the dopamine tones, etc. But what it means is while you're doing these other things that you have to do anyway, for instance, like the Helltides, especially if you want to summon the new bosses, etc., you can get pieces from the living steel from the Helltides. While you're doing these other things, the amount of experience that you're going to get literally anyway, because you have to do these things if you want Forgotten Souls, etc., is increased, meaning the overall total amount of time you're having to go do just the constant grind to get the levels is decreased, because you're getting experience from these other sources of variety of gameplay that you need to do literally anyway. So because of that, the grind feels less difficult in this season, because the grind is also getting accomplished elsewhere in the game passively. Don't really feel much of a difference with Paragon boards. Skill trees pretty much feel all the same here. So like the base mechanics that you're used to aren't really going to be changing. And it's going to take quite a bit of time to actually upgrade your powers. These are like Paragon glyphs, in which that they cost more and more experience, effectively, which is these potent bloods. It's going to cost more and more as you continue to level these abilities. So if you're going to use them to your fullest, you do have something to continue to grind for if you choose to. But also keep in mind, you still have to grind your Paragons. So you still have to do Nightmare Dungeons, and the Nightmare Dungeons, while they have events in them which can give you potent blood, aren't necessarily an amazing way to access potent blood. Whereas the Blood Harvest is it's called the Blood Harvest for a reason. This is where you're going to farm a lot of your potent blood from in order to upgrade your vampiric powers. But you still have to do both of these, meaning if you want to completely min-max your character, there's quite a bit to grind for. Now, while I'm fairly positive about most of these changes, in my opinion, the game feels objectively like a better game. Do keep in mind that a lot of the itemization is going to be the same. I, in fact, completed my level 38 because of how many legendaries you're dropping from the Blood Harvest. I literally had a full build minus my Paragons, and I even had the vampire powers that I wanted. So I was pretty much done fairly early into my character. Now, the item power level change of it going higher and higher, I like this, but it doesn't actually change the fundamental itemization issue of the affixes being complicated and boring. There's a whole bunch of percentages, and you have to read like 4 lines of critical strike chance. Is this one better than this one, etc.? So itemization is still pretty much the same, but the way in which you acquire the items is more enjoyable because of, for instance, the unique drops that come from the bosses and the bosses that come from a variety of things. So you're doing other things than you normally would do before, which is just Nightmare Dungeon over and over and over again. Maybe you get a unique, maybe you don't. So there are pathways to acquire other items, like doing the Blood Harvest, opening chests, doing the Hell Tides, doing the bosses, and to acquire the uniques. There are other ways now to accomplish acquiring items, and the process of acquiring those items themselves is more enjoyable. But the items that you acquire are not more enjoyable. So I just want to point that out. Itemization themselves are still an issue, but the gameplay evolved around acquiring the problematic itemization is actually more enjoyable, but they are fundamentally still different points. And so that's just not my opinion. Here's my chat. I'm currently live. I asked them to say W if they like the season, or L if they do not like the season. So here is some other live feedback from other people within the community that are actively playing the game. Obviously, this will be slanted towards a bias towards enjoying it, because if you're enjoying it and playing the game, you're probably watching a live stream or someone who creates content around it, but at least you will get yourself a secondary opinion. If you want to know just my opinion on it, I think the season is the best Diablo 4 has been yet. That might be low praise for some of you, but it is legitimately becoming better within the season. And in order for my high criticisms, and I've had plenty of criticisms, to have any weight, you got to give credit where credit's due. I actually do enjoy this season so far. Whether or not the in-game content, I'm talking Uber Durio, etc., is enough for you as a player to return to the game, that is not necessarily something I can speak to, as it is too early for me, having completed the in-game content, and I am on my way to hop on a plane to TwitchCon for the next few days. So when I come back, we will do a further review around the in-game content. But there are plenty of people that have already killed the Uber bosses. Doesn't seem like it's that much of a challenge, and the bosses themselves are going to be grinded for uniques once your build is completed. There may not be a reason to farm those Ubers unless you're trying to get Uber uniques. At least that's the general impression we have so far. But that's it. So far, I'm enjoying the season. Hopefully this review was enjoyable for you, and I'll see you on the next video.
So this was the video and the first impression from DM about regarding Diablo 4. I agree most of the points he mentioned. I didn't want to stop the video because he explained everything so well. I was really into the video. Okay, he's really good. He's really good. My congratulations for his work. He deserves all the success he can have. Okay, but in the bottom line, he's right. The Blood Harvest, it's a great event. Now we have more things to do, like Helltide, Blood Harvest, Legion events, bosses, Nightmare Dungeons. So Diablo is now getting more content. Okay. Regarding the story, the new season of Blood for me was weak so far. Okay, it's like they create a team, get new content, new stuff, but the story is weak. That is my honest opinion. Okay, what I think what's happening with Diablo and will happen. I think Diablo has good bones, as like the M's told in one video. I totally agree with him, but will be a good game like 1 year from now. Okay, the same thing happens with Diablo 3 when they release the new DLC, the Necromancer. Then the game gave a boost, okay, in life quality. I think the same thing is happened with Diablo. Okay, they are testing a lot of new stuff, then create new content. In 1 year from now, Diablo 4 will be a good game. Okay, I enjoy playing Diablo, but I'm a casual player. Okay, I'm not a professional player. I'm not a professional streamer. I do this because I love games since the beginning. I'm an old school gamer. I keep it playing and I do videos because I like it. That's it. But playing 3 months Diablo 4, maybe because I'm casual. I play a couple of hours. Okay, not I'm playing all the day long. Okay, that's the truth. Maybe I will finish. I'm playing now with Sorcerer. I'm really in love with the Sorcerer. DM is playing with Druid. that is another class I want to test it. So if you want a good game, Diablo 4, you can play like 3 weeks, 1 month, then you can stop and play other games. Until Diablo has more content, you cannot keep playing Diablo 4 for 3 months. That's the truth. I agree with him. The items should be improved a lot, because in the bottom line, this kind of games, what you are looking for? You are looking for to create your builds, okay, be stronger, more stronger than ever, then get new items. That's what's keeping you playing. And I think Diablo is reaching the items what you looking for too early, and they try to keep everything now much more smooth and faster, okay, but it's not rewarding. That's what I feel. I don't feel rewarding. No, I want to go to level 70. I get this item that give me some new power. Then, for example, the build tree. Okay, it's simple. I'm not such a huge fan of PoE regarding the build tree. I love the build tree of PoE, but I think it's too much complex. I think Diablo 4 can be in the middle. Okay, I heard about Last Epoch. I'm really willing to try, but they are in beta for a year. That is something I'm afraid. I think Diablo should increase. For example, this blood season, you have vampiric powers. Why they did like this? In my opinion, they can add the vampire powers, for example, in the build tree. Okay, you choose some type of skills, then you can add a vampire power that give you another skill, something like that. You understand what I mean? Just an idea. Okay, try to get the build tree something more not complex, it's not the word, but something you can test it, do something different. For example, little things they have in the other Diablos I don't understand. I'm sorcerer, I pick an axe. Why don't sorcerer can use an axe? He can use it, but of course will not have the same power as the barbarian. And I see that in Diablo 2. Okay, for me it's really strange. Why don't they take the good stuff of Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and use it on Diablo 4? I understand some of the hate people have, but I don't think it's directed to Diablo 4. I think all the hate, it's about the company, the Blizzard. Okay, that's why we have such negativity, because in the end the game, it's good, it's great. No, it isn't. Okay, that is my opinion. I hope you like it. See you on the next video, and as always, have fun and be happy.